Illinois Senate Republicans demanding some transparency when it comes to migrant funding. Welcome back, Bishop on Air. Each and every weekday morning, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And let's go ahead and take a look at this story. My colleague with the Center Square, Katrina Peterson, she put this story together of the Illinois Senate GOP demanding transparency surrounding spending on migrants. And this is an ongoing issue because if you look at some of the data, there's a lot of money going out here and a lot of tax dollars. So these Senate Republicans, they really are demanding that they get some kind of true accounting. And really, I think the effort is to see if you can kind of narrow down how much per migrant Illinois taxpayers are paying for. So go check out the story at thecentersquare.com. Illinois GOP legislators demand transparency surrounding the migrant spending. Republicans estimate state taxpayers are on track to spend $3 billion over 3 years. So they have Senate Bill 3170 that would demand that certain agencies and state government identify all spending and resources on non-citizens. You have legislators demanding this, saying that there needs to be more transparency. But Governor J.B. Pritzker, I asked him when he was in Decatur about this very issue, and here's what he had to say on the question of migrant spending and transparency.
Listen, it's taxpayers' money. I think it's important for people to know how the money's being spent at every level. And you know that there's a partnership between the city, the county, and the state to cover the expenditure here and to provide, and I want to remind everybody, it's very basic, shelter, food, clothing for people who are arriving here who often don't have it. They're being shipped here often with a T-shirt and sandals and no food in their bellies when they arrive. And it seems to me it's our humanitarian obligation to do something for them. And we're doing it in a cost-efficient fashion as best it can be done. I would remind everybody, I don't know about your own histories, but mine is that my family arrived here with nothing. They were refugees. It was a social service agency that gave them a place to live when they first arrived in Chicago. It was a Chicago public school that educated my great-grandfather. And I think that every one of the people that arrive in Chicago, whether they are migrants being shipped here by, for political purposes by the governor of Texas, or they come here seeking refuge on their own, is an opportunity for all of us to think about the future of our state and the future of the city of Chicago. But providing them just a reasonable start, it strikes me is a good thing for us to do, and it's who we are as a state and who the city of Chicago is as a city.
So again, the governor saying that they're being transparent with the spending, but just really kind of reiterating why he says that we have to spend on the migrants. But he said that it's for food, shelter, education, and you look at some of the other spending that there is, and it goes beyond that. The Immigration Project receives over $1.2 million in fiscal year 2021 from Illinois. In fiscal year 2023, a grant for Refugee Welcoming Center funding was given to the Immigration Project, and that cost taxpayers $429,000. Also in the same year, $253,926 was spent on legal aid and pro bono services for migrants. Some of those services include getting work authorization or getting migrant lawyers to get ready for their asylum hearing, whenever that asylum hearing may be. But a contract from the Comptroller's office that my colleague obtained for the Center Square through the Freedom of Information Act showed that around $400,000 in fiscal year 2024 from the Illinois Department of Human Services in the form of family and community service grants for immigrant legal aid and immigration pro bono network funding. So it's interesting because you've got this stacked on top of even more spending. All of the costs, just the tip of the iceberg. Projected taxpayer provided health care for foreign nationals, $770 million this fiscal year. The governor is proposing an additional $629 million to provide health care for those migrants in the next fiscal year. Other estimated costs for the next fiscal year, $321 million. Now, Republicans say that it could cost $3 billion over several years of taxpayers paying for non-citizens. Now, according to tax documents for the Immigration Project, again, the Immigration Project getting millions of dollars, likely across the country, but here in Illinois, if you look at their tax documents, you can see 99.5% comes from taxpayers for the Immigration Project. So you had Senate Republicans essentially demanding that there be some accountability, some transparency. Senate Minority Leader John Curran, he said that these gimmicks and loopholes make it impossible to know how many tax dollars are being spent on the migrant crisis that Pritzker created. Curran said, "You would think that a transparent account of how much Illinois citizens are paying for the government's care of non-citizens in the welfare program is a reasonable request, yet he says that their basic questions continue to go unanswered." So go check out that story at thecentersquare.com, and interesting to see just how much this is going to be a point of contention heading into budget season, which after the March 19th primary here in Illinois, I expect things to really ramp up and get out of, a lot more detail about how much migrant spending there is. So clearly that's something else that we will revisit here in the near future. All right, it is Bishop on Air. I appreciate you guys being here. The live stream, for some reason, we did great for 20 minutes, and then it just keeps on bouncing around. So I appreciate everybody who attempts to watch live. It really is awesome that you guys are here each and every weekday morning, but I will say I'm happy that we're recording these segments locally so that we can get it all uploaded without any interruption, all right? Stay tuned, more Bishop on Air. And if we're live, join the Discord. We'll see if that's dropping it all right? Stay tuned.